It's kind of fun when my mixer is like screwed up, so I can't fix it.
Oh, it's always fun. That's why I don't have one.
No, it's like it randomly will like change the audio, and it's only on my Bluetooth channel.
Oh, she's saying when it's about to drop the bass, it just silence out. Just goes, no, it's too loud. Screaming. Yeah.
So like I gotta like find a good place for the audio and then control it from my phone. It's great.
Perfect. Make sure your laptop's plugged in tonight, sir.
It is.
Okay.
All right. Let's get this started, ladies and gentlemen.
Distance nerding.
Hey, zoom out. Hey.
Yes, please.
Ladies and gentlemen. Well, you are now here for another installment. It is Thursday, which means it is time for the build.
Yes.
I am Phil with the washed out camera because light. I really do need to get a light blocking thing in here.
They should make something, some material. I think we should call it Mantins.
I need to buy some. We know this.
Mm.
And of course, to my side right there is the man who was attached to the sentient beard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Graveyard.
Yes. It's funny. It's only in StreamYard and Talk Studio does my beard actually show against my shirt. For some reason, OBS goes, no, you don't have a 4K camera. I mean, okay.
I mean, it's fine. I've got a 1080p camera. Mine's not as good as yours, but because the light washes out so much, like you just can't see anything on my camera. It's great.
I mean, it's just James Gunn throwing light into your room.
Oh,
all your wild ass theories.
Yeah, we should just put a lens flare directly on my camera and just make things better. It'd be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all the fun things, of course, let's talk sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at Debbie. All of that for the audio just to be down all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. W is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order.
Mm-hmm.
Very much worth it, guys. Again, I don't have a container right now, and I've also had a lot of caffeine today. So as you can see, I'm moving a mile a minute. I definitely don't need more. Oh my God, I thought my phone froze.
It's just Phil. Phil freezes from time to time.
About halfway through that, like realizing that, oh, I'm on the wrong page and I don't have anything on. I was like, what if I just like not move and make people think that I froze?
Why not?
I know, right? What's up to Say Wong all the way out in Japan for Star Wars Celebration? Of course, Sandra, Betty, and Tater in the chat. How you guys doing? So let's jump right into all of the festivities that we've got going on here today.
Yes,
I'm very excited. This guest has been on before in the past. He is a returning creator who has created a property that is both exciting and unique in its premise while building anticipation for the story as a whole. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about kind of what's happened since the last time he's been on the show, which was 2023.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on September of 2023. It does not feel like it was over a year ago, but ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show the immensely talented Dan Price.
Whoa, I can't even believe all the applause. What's up, y'all? How you doing tonight?
We're doing good, man.
Good.
More applause. There you go.
All right, outstanding. Outstanding. Now it's good to see you guys. How's it all been?
It's been good, man. Again, always trying to grow, but just trying to support as many indie creators as we can.
We appreciate that, man. Thanks so much. I'll speak for everybody. We appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. How have you been, man? I mean,
I didn't think it'd been a year since I've seen you. Over a year since I've seen you guys. It didn't seem like that long.
It didn't feel that way because when I was like, okay, I need to brush up on the books and go reread real quick. So I go reread the books, and I was like, when were they on? When was Dan on last?
Yeah.
And I had to pull it up in my calendar, and it was September of 23.
Oh my Lord. Well, I'm back. Here I am. So I know, I'm back, new stuff to pitch, and all the stuff, all the things.
Oh, of course, you already know we do a lot of research. So I mean, last time we talked, there's been a couple of things that have come out and some anticipatory stuff. So we definitely started looking into it because I was like, wow, we need to talk about all this stuff. This is pretty intense stuff that I'm excited for.
Man, any questions you have, I'm happy to talk about it. For the longest time, I was really guarded about talking about the story because, that first issue had such a weird twist at the end. I didn't want to spoil it for anybody, but now it's been a while now. We've got a couple of issues under our belt. So I'm more comfortable, actually answering some questions. Some questions, I'm not going to give you everything, but And
of course we're not expecting everything out of it. You know what I mean?
Y'all are cool. You get it.
Yeah, there has to be a little bit of not we don't need you to give us everything.
I mean, we just need to really know if he's going to show up in the next Cobra Kai movie against.
Yeah,
he better.
That would be something.
I would love to see Benny just beating the shit out of like Jackie Chan or something like that.
Dude, that would be cool. I want to see him go up against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. See, that would be.
AI can make that happen.
Well, then never mind. I don't know.
No, that would definitely have to be something that is. That would definitely have to be something, or if not AI, then you got to do what they did in Kung Pao.
Okay.
And just have somebody who is like dressed as Benny,
right?
Superimposed into the movie. And fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
right? Or we could just go even more crazy and just do it all in puppets. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, that would be dope.
who knows? We're crazy over here. You never
Kung
know
Fu
what's going to
puppets
happen.
would be so sick.
I know. It'd have to be Kung Pao, enter the foot.
There it is. There it is.
Kung Fu puppets. Oh man, that is amazing. All right, let me try and move this laptop out.
This is always fun to watch Phil, see if he can do it.
We're rooting for you, bro.
And I immediately unplugged it. All right, hold on.
See, I warned you at the top of the show to make sure.
I held it this time, so it didn't fall though, so we're good. All right, now that I got that moved, let's grab the microphone and let's continue.
Yeah. Oh man. No, like I said, I'm excited. Phil's excited. And we like to get to know more about you, Dan. So if a life movie was made about your life, who would play you and why?
Oh, Denzel Washington, no questions asked.
Yes.
No, okay. So here's the thing about the Denzel bit. My wife, you know how they used to have like several years ago on Facebook, they'd have those little things where it would take a picture and like scan your photo and say, this is who's going to play you in the movie. And it would go blue, 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 blue. And Denzel Washington came up on mine. So since then, Denzel's been my guy. Denzel's been my guy. So
that is the only man who can play you like.
Oh yeah, no, it's no. But if I had to pick somebody else, it'd probably about that kid who played the nerdy best friend on the Wonder Years. I don't know. I mean,
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson.
That was the joke that it was that kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that rumor, that urban legend that the kid from the Wonder Years was Marilyn Manson. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would be my number 2. I have no idea after that.
No idea after that.
No, because I mean, I'm really stuck on Denzel. I mean, just
I can see that. I can see it.
Natural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But would it be, say, a mockumentary of you just going around hunting cryptids? Because I'd like to see Denzel do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no doubt. That would be cool. So that would definitely be a spin on things, that's for sure. Denzel Cryptid Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he did go against a demon that switched bodies whistling in the 90s with I forgot that movie already. Damn it.
he fought a computer generated, criminal in Virtuosity. I mean, the guy gets around,
Yeah, that's very, very true.
And now he's in ancient Rome. So I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, because he's in that new what's it called? The sequel to whatever that was.
Gladiator 2. Yeah.
Gladiator 2, thank you. I haven't seen it yet. Have y'all seen it?
Gladiator 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Right. Have y'all seen it?
I have not.
Okay.
It took me a while to get to convince my wife to watch the first Gladiator.
Yeah.
Finally got her to watch it. She enjoyed it. We just haven't watched the second one yet because I'm waiting.
Sure.
So
my wife and I watched 300 not long ago, and I was the one who'd never seen it. And I'm a big Frank Miller fan. I just couldn't bring myself to getting around to watching it, and for no other reason than that. And but we watched that together. She's like, "You got to see this movie," and because we went to go see the Frank Miller documentary, the One Night Only documentary that they did several months ago. So it was right after that we watched that was fantastic. I was blown away by 300.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I loved it. I saw it in theaters. I saw it twice in theaters actually when it came out, and it shows what visionary Frank Miller is able to do, and essentially that he wrote these essentially as a storyboard for a movie. The 300 comic was just a lift and shift.
But it's also as much as everybody hates on Zack Snyder, like Zack Snyder did an amazing job with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
With which movie?
300.
With 300, right. I'm sorry, my mind shifted to Sin City. Yes, no, 300. It was phenomenal. 300 was absolutely beautiful, and it was a great story, and it worked perfectly. It was a really good film. I was really into it, but Sin City to me, what Robert Rodriguez did with Sin City is just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's also just kind of proof that you can make a comic book movie and do it cinematically and do it well.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Not that they're not doing that, but it's just like, you know, when you hear people like Scorsese saying that, oh, comic book movies aren't cinema. Well, Sin City is here to tell you that that's a bullshit fucking take.
right. Yeah, no. And I mean, I'm just a huge fan of Sin City in general. You know, so the movies, I like the second one too. I thought it was great, but you know, but the first one just had so much impact. You know, because it was fresh
Mhm.
and new and different and unique. And that to me is why Frank Miller is my all-time favorite creator. I'm not going to say he's the best artist. I'm not going to say he's the best writer. But when you put it together, there's very few comic book, you know, cartoonist creators who can do what he does, and as well as he does. I mean, I'll put him up there with Mignola, you know, and you know, in terms of like just being able to take your concepts and make, you know, take the IP and make them something even greater. I mean, him, Mignola, McFarlane, you know, what they've been able to do with their intellectual property is phenomenal.
Right.
I'm interested in seeing how the new Spawn turns out. Given that, like, you know,
Yeah,
because he's going Sam and Twitch with it, like he's going like the whole movie, like this new version, this new take of Spawn is supposed to be focused on Sam and Twitch.
interesting. So it'll be told from their point of view, basically, like they're the leads, and then Spawn's in the story.
Right, which is kind of
Hmm.
how the comic book goes. So that's why it's
Yes.
like very interesting
Sure.
that they're going that route.
Yeah, I mean, Sam and Twitch, the spin-off Sam and Twitch comic was not that far into the Spawn run,
Right. No.
you know, and I think the animated Spawn movies that they did in HBO focuses a lot on Sam and Twitch as well.
Sure. Those were good.
Yeah.
Those were good. I didn't get to see much of that. During that time period, what I loved was the Max cartoon. Sorry to shift gears, but
Mhm.
Max cartoon on Liquid Television and all of that was
Yeah.
so good. So good. Sam Keith is so amazing.
Yeah. So, you know, did you grow up on Frank Miller, or just something that you found later in your career as a comic book creator?
I bought Dark Knight Returns off the rack, actually.
Okay.
So I was 10 when Dark Knight Returns came out, and my father had no aversions to me reading it. So my number one was a second print. I remember that, and the rest of them were all first prints. And yeah, so that was my first exposure to Miller,
Mhm.
and I didn't ingest it properly until I got older. It just was a cool comic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was really attracted to the artwork, you know, just this big brooding Batman with the short, you know, little ears, and just I was very into that. But
Mhm.
the impact of the story came later on. And then I think the next thing that grabbed me from him probably was Sin City. Probably that. I really liked what he wrote for John Romita Jr. on the Daredevil origin story thing. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have read the Elektra stuff and that sort of thing, but I don't think Miller as the artist was who he was later on. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. It didn't hit me as hard as some of the other stuff. But yeah, no, his Sin City. That's when it really just grabbed really hard a hold of me, and just kind of been running with him ever since.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Who else did you geek out on as a kid then growing up? You know?
I mean, okay, so when I was in the 80s, okay, some of the first stuff that I was really exposed to was through Marvel Saga. I don't know if you know that title. It was a 35 issue limited series type thing that just sliced up bits and pieces of the Marvel history and put them in kind of a chronological order so it was easy to understand all the history of the Marvel universe.
Right.
Okay. And so it was really great. So there was a lot of reprints in there. And so I was really getting into like the Jack Kirby's without knowing how cool Jack Kirby was and, you know, name and history and all that other stuff. I was just really into what he was doing, you know? And so, Don Heck, you know, stuff like that. I was just, you know, getting into that kind of thing early on. The first book that I one of the first books that I bought was also like an X-Men 207 that I believe it was Silvestri who drew it was either Silvestri or Romita Jr. with Wolverine tearing through the cover. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but that kind of thing. But Marvel kind of had a house style, at that time too. They were just starting to kind of break out of it, during that, post Secret Wars type of shit.
Right.
And they were just kind of getting into their own vibe, it felt like, from artists. So I'm a product of, of the late 80s, early 90s. So 90s 90s Marvel, Image Comics, all of that very much, was I was into all that because the idea that you could write your own comics and make your own comics and control your own comics with those guys, the rock stars going and doing that, God bless. Dude.
Yeah.
That's the shit. It was so cool. Like all these bastards just leave Marvel and say, fuck you, we're doing this. And it's like, fuck yeah, they're doing this and they did this. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm such a nerd. I still enjoy all of that stuff. It's all over there. It's all over there. I mean, I even, what is it here recently? I bought the Rob Liefeld Last Blood. I had to know, man. I just had to know what the hell that was all about. That's how nerdalicious I am when it comes to all of that. And, but Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, all of that was just really cool to me.
Yeah.
When I was young, and I just have such a love for Savage Dragon. Maybe not all the time in the story, but just the spirit of that, man, what the hell he has done 300 plus issues or whatever it is of this book at this point. I mean, and to just be so committed to a project, that's incredible to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, Phil knows the story is my parents didn't let me get comic books because it's a comic book. Don't do that. It's the 90s. The Chicago area basketball cards. So
right.
I was able to collect that. But I remember when I got a little bit older and got a job and then Spawn came out.
Right.
And I'm like, I am, my wife tell you, I'm a collector. If I collect something, I have to have it in its entirety. So I'm, starting collecting comics late 90s. I can't go back and get, Spider-Man #1.
Right.
Or anything like that. But when Spawn came out, I started Spawn at issue #1 because this was a brand new comic series with a brand new hero that I was able to get in at that point in time. I think I collected the first 200 issues. Then eventually I stupid me like 10 years ago, I sold it all. But now I have all like the essential X-Men Spider-Man omnibuses, and they stopped making those, of course.
Right.
And that sucks. I like to have a physical copy of stuff in my hands because
analog
childhood, teenager, digital, still have to have it in my hands.
I will read digital comics. I back a lot of digital comics just because cost. And I do enjoy them. But the stuff that I'm really excited about, I have to buy the physical copies of those things. I have to. I'm an old school reader, you know what I mean? Like I will do digital comics. I enjoy them. I'm thrilled when people back a digital comic. That's just so awesome. But I'm a tactile reader. I want to flip the damn page,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. I know, Phil, you're a physical collector too.
Yeah. No, well, I'm both. It's like where my evolution has gone to is I do both now. So I do the physical copy to collect, and I do a digital copy to read.
That's cool.
Because in that way, I'm not messing with it. You know what I mean? I'm not touching it.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's just I had an e-reader. I was able to load up stuff back in the day, but I can't read books digitally. I've never been able to do that.
I travel a lot for work, and so I've often thought about getting something like I don't own a tablet. I don't, and so I've thought about getting something like that. But then in the end of the day, no, I end up just loading my backpack with a bunch of comic books while I'm and I have those with me. But it would be nice. I love the spirit of an e-reader. I love the spirit of a tablet, but that is, but that's kind of where it ends.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so let's kind of get into the meat and potatoes then here
Yeah.
of Bigfoot knows karate.
Sure.
So without spoiling anything, and you do a lot of research obviously for cryptids. Are we going to see more cryptids in the series as it continues in book 3 even?
Yeah, actually we are. We've got a couple of new creatures that are showing up. One I will not mention at all because let's just keep that a secret. Just for the thing. And when we do not just cryptids, but we in issue 2 we kind of created our own kaiju with what was his name? Thermonucleodon. Thermonucleodon. He's cool, man. And I like Milo. He's a good character. Unfortunately, he met a quick demise, but that's all right. You know what?
We sacrifice, and that's fine. Like he sacrificed.
Exactly. And you know what? And he got Diego where he needs to go in issue 3, and we'll see more of Diego, aka Chupacabra with a shotgun, in issue 3.
Is he getting his own book?
Is he going to get his own book?
Yeah.
Maybe one day it would be fun to do something with him. I like the character, and as you get to know him more and more, his personality. Did you ever see the movie La Bamba?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the brother in La Bamba? Dude, that's kind of Chupacabra with a shotgun. That kind of enthusiasm. You know what I mean? He's kind of a bastard, but he's cool as shit. You know what I mean? And he's fun. He's a cool character. I'm really excited about him. And so we'll be seeing, we don't just do cryptids. We do like creatures of lore. So one of the characters or one of several little critters that we're going to see in there are hellhounds. Okay. We're actually going to do, the story subtitle is Hellhound on My Trail, which is a song lyric from the blues legend Robert Johnson. And so Benny and Iris and the bunny are on the run. After issue 2, they escaped from this compound where they were being held, and now they're on the run, and they literally have hellhounds on their trail. And so it's a pretty cool little tie-in. I'm a big blues fan. I love the Robert Johnson legend, the concept of going to the crossroads. And so, that whole thing. I'm really it's one of those things that have one of those kind of just legends that I've always just been really attracted to. I found it so interesting. I just rewatched some documentary on Netflix recently on a plane flight because I was just like, yeah, let's just watch. They had done an update to it, so I had to know.
Bunnies.
Go ahead.
Are we finally getting an explanation for the bunny?
Oh no. I love that bunny though, man. I really love that bunny. He's got some mileage on him. You're gonna learn about him before the end of issue 5. You're gonna have a complete understanding of who that is. So that's my promise to you. But in the meantime, he's fun. He's fun to draw. I will say that. And there's a couple of good sequences with the bunny in this issue. So he'll have a little more screen time, maybe not as much explanation. But I will say this: the questions, we've thrown a lot of questions out to y'all, and I know that, and we're fully aware of that. So Mazel tov for making it through this far. Now we're going to give you some answers. Okay, that is something that I do promise you in issue 3. We're gonna get some answers, and this is a meaty book. This is 38 pages, so so you're gonna get some action. You're gonna get some understanding. You're gonna get to see some familiar friends and some new creatures along the way, and hopefully you do a little ending that's gonna be like, oh shit, again, So they're doing this to us again, because we like to end the book with something a little more jarring, I guess is a good way to put it. I think the ending of issue 2 was a lot of fun with the message that Benny left for Grisha to find. I thought that was something anyway.
Oh yeah. And you essentially you leave us salivating, wanting more at the end of each issue.
Yay! That's the goal. So even with like Hanagon, I don't know. Did y'all read Hinnagon? Bigfoot Knows Karate Hinnagon?
No, so Hinnagon hadn't come out when we
Oh, okay. So
that's kind of what I was bringing up is that more properties come out since the last time we interviewed.
okay.
Because
Yeah.
I actually have a question. Look, I have a question written specifically about this
Mhm.
because since the last time we talked, like Hinnagon's come out,
Yeah.
and did that scratch an itch for readers? Because especially in anticipation for the third book.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea of why we did it. It was more to, have more content come out with, while my slow ass can, draw the main series. And the reaction. So that was originally the idea. But we also had been talking about, well, what if Benny did this? And what if Benny did that? And so Hinnagon is not like a 0 issue or an origin issue. Hinnagon is a slice of time in the life of this character.
Right.
Okay. And so it's a one shot, kind of a monster of the week plus. Okay. Because the story was written by Casey Allen, my co-writer on the main story. Y'all familiar with Casey? Casey's amazing. Right. Casey took the lead on Hinnagon. Okay. I helped him out, but Hinnagon was Casey's baby. And he wrote the story about feudal Japan, Bigfoot being in feudal Japan and going to, having to defeat a Mizuchi, a water dragon. Okay. For various reasons and that sort of thing. So for the reader who had not read issue 1 or 2, there was, this was a good place to just kind of get in, see a really cool, battle, and then, get a neat ending. For the people who had read issues 1 and 2, they got to learn more about a character they already knew, see a cool battle, get to an ending and go, oh shit, they did it again. You know what I mean?
So, it's also kind of like explaining why they call him the Hinnagon.
Yeah. So so the Hinnagon is actually pretty much the Japanese Bigfoot. That's what a Hinnagon is. And so and we dropped the word Hinnagon in issue 2, didn't we?
Right.
So we did. We started dropping the breadcrumbs of that there. And there's a lot of breadcrumbs going through the books, you're going to see things that, show up later and that kind of thing. So we're really trying to kind of put those in there so we can have fun with them 7 issues later or something like that. But yeah, so Hinnagon plays with the concept that, this is the same character from this current timeline that we're in that is now in, feudal Japan. Okay. So what we're kind of dealing with, guys, is that Benny, there's not a Bigfoot in every, there's not big feet. Okay. There's not, you got Yetis and you got Sasquatches and Bigfoots all over the world. Hinnagon, the Alabama White Thing, you've got all these creatures that are basically the same creature that are told about in lore and history from the beginning of time. Everybody's got one. Well, what if it's just the same dude showing up everywhere?
Right.
So you're saying there's not going to be a council of feet?
No.
Council of feet. I like that.
The joint feet are now in session, right? So.
I mean, who else has got to go against Council of Kings? So Council of Feet.
Yeah, no, that would not be a good smelling room. I'm just telling you, it's just all feet everywhere. This is the guy. This is the OG. This is the dude himself. So this is what we're playing with, and he's lived a long time. I'm not going to go into how long, but there's going to be a lot more of these side stories coming up. As a matter of fact, our next side story, I'm hoping we will be going to Kickstarter with this in October. And I'll refrain from telling you the title because you're going to find out a bit more about that in issue 3.
Okay.
But we do have another side story in production. The script actually, I just received the final script for that to review, and the artist on that, his name is Justin Adcock. Casey's written this amazing story, and I've stayed even further out of this one than I did Hinnagon. I mean, I'll help him with the dialogue and stuff, and that's cool. But the dude knows his shit. You know what I mean? Let the man write. You know what I mean? He has to put up with my ass all through the main storyline. So yeah. Anyway. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that next side story out, and we're gonna do more. I mean, the response to Hinagon was great. I'm glad people enjoyed it, and why not tell more stories, and then I can work on issues 4 and 5 and get those done and keep pumping out Bigfoot books. But we're gonna do, after 4 and 5 are done, then we're going to start moving to doing 3-issue stories, one-offs, things like that, just to make it a little bit more user-friendly. This first story needed to be a little longer to explain a lot of things, but after that, we can bring it down, bring the stories down in size a little bit, which I think will be good.
Oh yeah, and it's great to see. Going into different cultures, you talk about different Bigfoot and stuff like that. Do you find it challenging going to other areas of the world and doing the research for cryptids, or do you find it just fun and exciting? Just really,
it's awesome. It's awesome. Oh yeah, no, the weirdest crap comes up. I mean, I love it. I love it, and so that's been amazing. Just getting to do. I mean, yeah, one creature I can't wait to play with at some point. I've done some artwork with them, and is a pukwudgie. Have you ever heard of a pukwudgie? I can't remember where they're from now, and they're these little hairy little creatures, and they're just maybe about this tall, like bigger than a Smurf, but not bigger than a puma. I don't know. That's a weird phrasing, but yeah. So
they're almost. I think they're almost all like. Aren't they almost like gremlins essentially?
Almost, yeah. They're gremlin-like, just causing mirth and mayhem, and so I can't wait to be able to play with some of those, and do something with that. There's just so many weird ones that we've come across that it's like, I mean, this thing that we have at the end of the new issue coming out, I'm like, dude, that's so insane. I'm about to start drawing those pages, and I'm like, this is going to be nuts. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of finding Bigfoot's been on for like 9 seasons at this point in time, and I love the new lore that is being created for the American Bigfoot. He's interdimensional being, and you do EMF detectors and track him like a ghost, and he just has all these connections like Mount Shasta and all that stuff. I'm just going, wow.
I watched a lot of documentaries and did, not a lot. I watched a few documentaries and did some reading when I was coming up with the initial concept for Bigfoot Knows Karate. And what I learned by watching those documentaries is nobody knows shit about this freaking thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But there were cool things about it, like astral projection. Yoink, taking that. You know what I mean? And you see what we've done with that. And moving them from different dimensions and doing that sort of thing. That was a lot of fun. Having, where does he go when you can't see him? That was a really cool, thing to play with. I don't know, man. It was a great film. I've not seen that. I have heard of that one.
Yeah. Boggy Creek is usually the Bigfoot one that most people.
Okay.
No, I mean, you could, I could almost see a one-off where he's living with John Lithgow. John Lithgow hit him with a car. He's mending him. Harry the Henderson style, but Bigfoot knows karate.
See, that's my biggest fear. Like when people say to me, "Do you want to see a movie made? A Bigfoot Knows Karate?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Why not?" I said, "Did you see Harry and the Hendersons?"
Yes.
They're gonna Henderson my book. I don't want. Yeah, that's scary to me. But I'd love to see animation. But I'm just so scared that somebody would make it like this. Oh, hey, I'm a Bigfoot that knows karate. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be ridiculous to me. So,
that's exactly what they would do too.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, if they pay me enough, what the hell, But I mean, then I can go just come up with something else.
That Willow Creek. Okay. I know what he's talking about now.
So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I love the project. I'm enjoying the project. I hope I get to do it for a long time, but I'm not married to it. I mean, so if they want to Henderson the book up, then Okay. All
I,
right.
I happen to know a movie team that has a Bigfoot costume.
Oh, really?
Yes, we do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
They're
That's
actually
really
working.
cool.
They're actually working on the third movie in the trilogy right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's
Tahoe
awesome.
Joe.
Tahoe Joe.
Tahoe Joe. I'm writing this down. Hold on.
Yeah,
You may see two faces on the screen with you in that movie. I'm just saying that.
Are you
right
serious?
now. I'm absolutely serious.
we're both in the second movie.
Yeah.
Are you really? What are y'all doing in the second movie? What are y'all playing? Who are y'all?
This.
Are y'all podcasters?
We're
Yeah.
podcasters that are discussing the viability of Bigfoot actually coming out and killing people.
Yep.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so I'm with celebrities, is what you're telling me.
Oh man, I you haven't even told you, man. I did a Deadpool versus John Wick movie on YouTube.
Did you really?
Oh, it's good. It's pretty funny.
You got to send me the link to that.
I definitely will, man.
Awesome. Hey, here, I got a Sharpie. Will y'all sign my arm or chest or something like that? Yeah, here we go.
The other movie is currently is it on Tubi right now?
2? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tahoe Joe 2 is on Tubi right now as well.
Okay,
I
on
said.
Tubi. All right. Hold on. I'm writing this down.
If you go down that rabbit hole, you'll see my face and a lot more with the production team as well. So
Okay. Tahoe Joe 2 on Tubi.
yeah,
I'm checking it out. That's awesome.
yeah. So I mean, so you said not a movie, but you see this as an animation style. Do you see this as like, Phil knows I'm gonna say like a Castlevania style on like Netflix, or do you where you kind of see this, or like more like HBO animation?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would love to see, not to sound like, I mean, I've seen a lot of different renditions of the people's idea of what the character should look like. We've received a few pieces of fan art over the years, and and so I love seeing people's different renditions of the character. I mean, we've received over 200 pieces at this point. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah,
but I would love to see. As far as animation, I mean, it's too bad that Ralph Bakshi is not alive to do this, or not working enough to. Is he working? Is he alive, or is he just not working?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but if he was working, I would love him to be able to do this, because that's somebody who understood motion and animation. Okay. And the artwork that I do in the book has a lot of lines and a lot of movement going on, and even when they're static. And so I'd love to see somebody who could bring that sensibility to the animation, rather than DC's made some really good movies with their little animation thing that they do. I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, if you're going to adapt a book, adapt the book, you know what I mean? And bring the art style along with the movie. It's, the Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, when I watched that, I tried to watch it. It was like watching Batman the Animated Series. You know what I mean? It was missing that vibe. You know what I mean? And each story should have its own tone. It should just not be, pump and repeat, the story out, the same look for every movie. So The Killing Joke, I tried to watch The Killing Joke too. Oh God. I mean, Brian Boland brought such intensity to that story, and that was just lost and gone in the cartoon. So to have a stronger adaptation from panel to screen would be nice. It doesn't have to be exact. I understand that that's not easy to do, but it would be nice to see that.
There were certain things, like overall the project was not the best, but I mean, like, there were certain things that were good. Obviously the stuff that they added at the beginning was pointless. We didn't need that.
Yeah.
By stuff at the beginning, I mean, Batman and Batgirl fucking. We didn't need that.
Yeah.
Some of us did. Some of us did, Phil.
We did not need Batman and Batgirl fucking. There's no. I guess the added context. The added context to it is you're adding a layer of, like, just kind of not care. What's the word I'm looking for? You're adding a layer of kind of intimacy between the two of them that makes it kind of a bigger deal for Batman when she gets paralyzed. But
yeah, it changes the stakes completely.
right, but the thing is we don't need that because she was his right hand man, so to speak. I guess just because they hadn't explained it in that story and they didn't want to go and tell 20 years of Batgirl stories, they were like, oh, we'll just add this in there, so it's like,
Yeah, and,
I don't feel like we needed it.
I don't think so either. No, it's like special editions on Star Wars. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
It's just not so necessary.
Oh, I completely agree. Side note, my son tried to, actually, me yesterday. He's like, Boba Fett's first appearance was the New Hope. I go, it wasn't.
It was not.
No,
But he's like, pull up the movie. He's right there. I'm like, that's the special edition. And that scene with Jabba, Boba Fett, yes, technically is there, but Jabba was also a person.
That was also a
Right.
deleted scene.
Yep.
Yeah,
He tried
I know
to-
that bit where Han steps on Jabba is just
Mhm.
so out of place. I mean, this is
Yeah.
this big hut who's gangster, right? And you're just gonna step on him.
Mhm.
I don't think so.
I get what he was going for with that. He was trying to make Han seem like he's fearless,
Sure.
which I mean, to an extent he is, but you also took away the best part of Han Solo and that he was a scoundrel
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was just lying shit.
by making Han not shoot first for some reason.
Oh god, the worst. Oh
Mhm.
god, the worst.
So I mean, if this was an animated series, do you see this as a limited run, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want like 3 or 4 seasons?
No, I could see you could do all 5. You could do all 5 of these issues in. You could do them in 10 episodes. I bet. And just do a one shot go. And then maybe do shorter one-off type, longer movie type things or something like that, rather than doing series. I mean, why not? I mean, that's the nice part about streaming these days is you're not limited to a certain how much time you have to be in an episode. You're not, there's just options. I think, I mean, wouldn't that be nice? Now, if you want to adapt it into a series and keep going past what the source material, yeah, let's have fun.
I feel like you could scale up the action if you did it as an anime.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I also want to see Chupacabra with a shotgun meet Hobo with a shotgun and go on the rampage together.
Dude, bring it on. Just go. There's I love that character. I can't wait to see for y'all to get to know more about him because he's great, and what happens with him in 4 is even going to be even cooler. So, Benny's built a little stable. This starts off as a very much this creature by himself out in the woods, alone and secluded. To come issue 3, I mean, he's got a little team, between him and Iris and the bunny, and now. What happens with him and the Chupacabra. It's kind of cool how this unit is formed for him.
It's the Crypt Vengers.
The Crypt Vengers. Yeah, and so I like it.
He's like, shit. Okay, I'm using that.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to work it in. We don't really do a comedy around here, but and that's only because I did comedies for so long. I'm trying to keep this more, but there's always a joke in there somewhere or another. We can work.
I mean, like most action properties are gonna have like the kind of like the joke that's just kind of inserted, but it's not comedy kind of things. I mean, like you can still do that.
We did what is it? Well, I mean, Casey wrote in a really good dick joke in the first-ish episode with Kung Fu Thulu, and everybody thought because of my writing background that was my joke. And there was another scene that was like totally serious that I had written, and a lot of people who knew Casey's writing attributed it to him when we were talking about, and we were just laughing so hard. It was like, we were like, gotcha, bitch, I mean, anyway, so it was, that's funny. And which is cool because we're stretching ourselves as writers, frankly. And that was my whole idea with doing Bigfoot Knows Karate in the first place, get it out of just doing, dick and fart joke books that I had been doing for years before.
Right.
And, take it to a different level. So it's been a lot of fun in that regard.
dick jokes, but in space.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, well, my first book was called Latex Avenger,
Right.
and and
That's
so
what I
that
was
was
referencing.
nuts. Yeah, that was nuts. In fact, so we hadn't talked about this yet, but I had started up with a couple of other guys. We started up a new publishing company called Homebrewed Comics.
Okay.
And so I don't know if y'all are familiar with Christopher Saloff, who does the book Crit, or Drew Lenhart, who does Caspian Porter. But they formed their own. I'm going to get to my point in a second. I swear to God.
You're fine. This is the show for you to rant on. You're fine.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So in January, they started this company up and did like kind of a soft launch. And I came on in March, and we brought on Dennis Valencia as well. And we have formed a little publishing label that we're doing. And we've got 3 campaigns back to back that we're doing in April, May, and June. Mine being the May campaign on May 14th. So come and check it out. May 14th on Instagram Live, 7 p.m. We will be doing a live launch party, y'all.
Ooh.
Follow me at Danomite139, and you will learn more about all that. So anyway, beyond that little pitch right there. So we're doing all these different campaigns, and we're working our way into distribution in stores. So that's something we got coming down the pike. But why I'm bringing that up is I just sent one of the guys in the company. I just sent him a Latex Avenger book. He was asking me about it, so we'll see what happens. We did a crossover with Latex Avenger and Halloween Man a couple of years ago. Me and Drew Edwards, and I was talking to another podcaster here recently, and they were saying to me, they had called Bigfoot Knows Karate. They're like, "Hey, this is your baby, man," and I'm like, "Not the baby. The baby is the condom-headed superhero, yesteryear. That was always my baby project." So one day I'm going to do another one of those books. I'm going to do another Latex Avenger book. I think there's some things that got to be said. So we'll see. We'll see. I have a 37-page crossover between 2 titles that I did, Latex Avenger and Masters of the Obvious. And I reread that about a few days ago, I guess, and I was like, God, I got to find an artist for this, because I just can't wait to put this out in the universe and just get canceled to shit. It's
it's jokes you can make. It's just it's endless.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be amazing. So anyway, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, that's awesome to get me part of that production team as well, just because it's. Indie's got to support indie first and foremost. We always adhere to that. But then you're having a group, and guys are able to push out more content across everything. They said multiple, campaigns after each other too.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great. When you're in indie comics, you're kind of going it alone, right? You find your people. You find your group. You find your tribe, so to speak. And I've been really fortunate to have like Casey Allen to work with, Adam Caswell, who did the artwork on Hennigan, and he's done, and all the cover artists that we've gotten to work with, and then just making friends in the, out there, especially through Instagram. And then as you're making those friends, then you start to see, oh, this is somebody I could work with. That's somebody I could work with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, Chris and we hit it off pretty much immediately. Like I'd heard of him and he'd heard of me, and we were familiar with that our projects were out there and existed. But we finally, I think Dennis Valencia connected us together, and I just really dug him. I love the way he marketed his book. Like Chris always has the coolest things in his campaign. Like he did energy drinks, like branded energy drinks one time in a campaign. He's done stuffed animals of his Baron Samedi cat character, and just stuff like that. And so I've always been really into those types of things that he's done. I did a wrestling belt in my last campaign as one of my things. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
let me go get
absolutely.
it. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Strap. There it is.
Sorry for the dead air, but yeah, no, I did a Bigfoot Knows Karate Wrestling Championship as a tier on the campaign. I actually sold one too. Can you believe it? So it was, so we both are just really interested in doing, really odd, cool things in our campaigns. We actually even did a campaign. We actually did. Hell yeah, Sandra Betty, you got a wrestling belt. Wrestling belts are great. You got to have one. Everybody should have one, a custom belt. So we actually did a campaign together, not a campaign launch at the same time, like a dual campaign launch one time. And both of us funded those books in 15 minutes, so there was something there, and Chris, and I've been watching Drew Lenhart for years, just pump out solid book after book after book. I mean, this guy's a dynamo. And then Dennis is just like friend to the indie community, man. Nicer guy they don't make, you know what I mean? Just a talented dude. And he's actually going to be handling our Whatnot store that we're going to be putting together here soon. I'm director of marketing for the company, so I do, all of that entails. And then, Chris is, working on the distribution, the physical distribution, and president taking the lead on a lot of stuff. And then Drew is the VP and handling our technology, our web distribution, all of that stuff. That's badass. That's really cool. It's pretty awesome, how we've distributed the work and everybody's using their expertises to help us all propel this, this label forward. And we all take responsibility for the books. Everybody's book is our book. It's not like, well, this is mine and that's yours. No, we're all pushing these books together to make sure that we're getting the most visibility possible for each title and helping make the label as a whole, Homebrew Comics, more successful. Here's something cool. Can I just talk about something that we're doing in the campaign?
Yes, absolutely.
So do you remember a book called Image Zero years and years and years ago? You had to go and get 7 comics from Image Comics, and it was like, and get the coupon out of each of the books. Okay. And then if you got all the coupons, you could send in $10 or whatever it was and get a copy of Image Comics Zero that had all new content inside of it. Okay. And this was long time ago. Okay. Well, we're doing something similar. You back my book, you're going to get a coupon that has a 3-digit code. You back Chris's book, he gets a different coupon, 3-digit code. Same thing with Drew and Dennis's Celestial Knight meets Caspian Porter book that's coming out and Kickstarter in June. You're going to get another coupon, 3-digit code. You take those 3 coupons, enter the 9-digit code on our website, and you can buy a copy of Homebrewed Zero that has all new short stories and original content in it.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
So it's just something that we're doing that can, gets people to get behind all the campaigns and, really try and kick it off, this first year of Homebrew, it's something special.
Right.
Yeah, and all it is just pushing support for everybody around you. It's such a great concept to do.
It really, really is. It's something that a team I know personally could do something like that. The team I'm on I'm part of Horror Dads.
Okay.
And there's 6 of us that make movies. So across the country, and we are severely lacking in marketing. We fully acknowledge that, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay, but it's just the same thing. We have 15 movies across the 6 of us all together. It's all part of the same universe,
right?
So
how do y'all do? I mean, not to flip the interview around, and I'll be the interviewer for a second, but how do y'all fund your movies? Do y'all crowdfund those, or how do you?
Yeah. The bigger stuff we do, generally 1 or 2 big movies for us a year, and then so we do like Indiegogo across that for crowdfunding. And then we do other side projects. It's just in our free time or spare time, shorts, stuff like that, combined into other movies. So we did like a found footage Grindhouse movie. So 2 45-minute found footage movies put together with a wraparound for everything too.
Nice. Very cool.
So it's just a way for us to showcase stuff that's not feature length material, but still have the ability to make these shorter movies as well.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. You're living the dream, man.
Yeah, yeah. My wife goes, "Oh, you're going to be gone this weekend again?" Yep, yep. And you're 5 hours away. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife's totally she's so supportive of what I do, but I know at the same time she's like, come on, motherfucker. You know, do you have to put the codes in a specific order? Yes, but we will notate that on the coupons. You'll get if you back crit number 8, you will get a coupon that will say coupon number 1. Back Bigfoot Knows Karate number 3, you'll get the coupon for number 2. You'll get coupon 2, and then Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter will be that one shot will be the 3rd coupon. So yeah, but we'll spell it all out for you guys in the note. I
It would be
promise you that.
so much more fun if you guys made it like an actual like mystery thing. So you got to collect everything, but then put the code together.
Right. We can do one of those little, what is it, a little cryptics or whatever that they have to codex or whatever that you have to go through. That's some sort of.
Oh man, you can do like augmented reality.
Oh god, we can just go full Da Vinci Code on this shit and make
Exactly.
it really tough. You know,
Do it.
you're gonna learn some things about history, kids. You got ready to buy a comic? Here we go. You know. So yeah. Anyway. But no, it should be it should be fun. I'm really excited about that coupon project. I think the Homebreed Zero is going to be a lot of fun. Had a meeting about it today, and how long each story is going to be. I think the max length will be 8 pages on each of the stories. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at about 6 pages for my Bigfoot Knows Karate story on this one, and but we've got some really cool things that they're planning for it, and then one of our cover artists, it looks like he's going to be bringing a story into it as well. So get a little extra bonus there, kids. So
yeah. I mean, with this, and then are you guys going to do any cons then as a publication team as well?
So there's going to be we'll answer a long, hard math question. That's funny. Sorry, I just saw the comment. So at least Dennis and Chris are going to be at Heroes Con together this year. Unfortunately, I am missing Heroes Con this year, which sucks because I love Heroes Con. It's such a great show. I am staying in the Texas area this year because I am trying to keep it a little bit more local. Unless we get to New York, if we get accepted into New York Comic Con, all 4 of us will be there. I have a good feeling that I know Chris and I will definitely be there. But so we have our application in. We'll see. But so they're going to be at Heroes. But I've got a few conventions here. I'll pull those up real quick on my website.
I was looking at your list. Like everything is pretty much in Texas.
Everything's in Texas this year. I've got one more to add because I just got into another one. But yeah, I'm going to be at South Texas Comic Con April 25th through the 27th in McAllen, Texas. Then May 3rd, if you're in the Austin area, come out to Austin Books and Comics for free comic book day. But come early, man, because apparently they have a minimum of 1,000 people to come through that store.
Wow.
So yeah, it's going to be you go in the store, you go through the parking lot, through a maze of different tables and stuff, and then to get your free comics, and then you go through the store and go out again, and it's a whole thing. I mean, I'm bringing tents, to put over us that day. I have a couple of tents in my garage, so bringing those, and we're going to be out in the parking lot hanging out for the whole day, and the beginning of May in Texas. Yeah.
Nice and cool.
Yeah, nice and cool. I'm going to manifest that right now. And then Dallas Fan Expo, May 30th through June 1st in Dallas, Texas. And then June 14th. My campaign starts May 14th. So June 14th, I'm going to be at Big Alpaca Comics in San Antonio doing a signing. And that will be the last day of my campaign. So I'm actually doing 32 days this time around because I'm freaking crazy. And but I wanted to close it out on that signing day. Hopefully be able to, rustle up a couple extra backers, on that last day. So We'll see. Yeah, that's it for right now. I'm not going to go any further because there's more all the way out to November and stuff. So that'll be good.
But I mean, that's you guys going even to different cons. That's just bigger exposure for your team as well.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Between the group of us, I think we have about 15 shows for the year. So that's not too shabby. I cut back this year. I mean, last year I did like 12. So I kind of wanted to scale back a little bit this year. That's part of why I'm doing just Texas. Will there be about at the alpaca at Big Alpaca Comic the store? I don't know if they have real alpacas, but that would be cool. That would be cool. It would be really even cooler if the alpaca had a shotgun, but maybe a little more dangerous.
Comic book idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know the Chupacabra could be riding the alpaca.
That's something. There you go.
Yes.
Instead of just carrying a lance, he's carrying a shotgun.
Right.
But it also makes sense because the Chupacabra is like, it's
it's a goat sucker.
Central. Well, but I mean, it's Central American to South American lore, right?
Yeah.
Riding an alpaca. Why not? Alpaca with a minigun.
Alpaca with a minigun. Nice.
No, but like I said, it's great stuff. It's just I can't wait for you guys to just grow and blow up with this too. Really.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're excited. I mean, look, Crit's a killer book. It's based on a homebrew D&D game that a bunch of Chris and his friends have been playing for years. Okay, and they record their sessions, and all that becomes, and it's a superhero D&D campaign. It's not it's a homebrewed campaign that's like superheroes. And so it's so all of the stories have been pre-recorded in their sessions, and then they turn those sessions into issues. Okay. And so it is an action comedy through and through. It's very much like the other guys, I mean, it's that kind of vibe, but it's so funny. And they like they literally will have like music lyrics as they're falling, you know what I mean, and shit like that. It's really good. And so this issue that they got coming up is like it starts into the more of the lore of the whole thing, and King Arthur actually shows up and comes into the story on this one. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for Crit 8 because I'm a big fan of the story, as a reader. And then the Celestial Knight meets Caspian Porter that they're doing in June. That's a cool book, man, because Caspian Porter, that's Drew Lenhart's book. Okay. And it's like he's a delivery boy in space, you know what I mean? Or like space captain delivery guy type thing. And it's like prehistoric Mars situation, but he's not good at his job and makes very bad decisions. I mean, that's just the best way to put it. Like he gets too drunk, gambles away the cargo, ends up getting so drunk he sleeps with this woman who ends up being his boss's wife, type situation. This is not going well for this guy. He's not making good moves. And then the Celestial Knight by Dennis Valencia it's a cool book because like Dennis came up with the idea, I think when he was around 16. And now has turned it into now he's like in his late 40s and has made this really cool book about this this guy and his dog the guy ends up getting like these amazing powers from supernatural causes, and it's he and his dog like kind of fighting kaiju and shit. So it's a really cool concept and beautiful artwork. And so I'm really enjoying what they already make, you know what I mean? Because I've been reading this stuff for a while now. I've been following these guys and, getting to know them. And so to know that they're bringing quality work to the table, and I feel like I'm in good company. If not, I need to work a little harder to keep up with these guys. You know what I mean? So it's, I feel like I chicken scratch my way through an issue, and the imposter syndrome, blah blah blah, all that bullshit.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, oh yeah, but you have to put that shit aside too, and push forward. Otherwise, what's that going to get you? $4 at a cup of, $4 and some anxiety. At least you have a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? It's So yeah, it's I'm really stoked to be working with these guys. I think we got a real shot at doing something special with this. That's for sure.
No, just out of curiosity, are your issues zeros for all of them? Are they going to be like so the covers line up so they form a bigger picture?
Oh no, it's the homebrewed zero is going to be one book.
Okay,
just one book of short stories.
Okay,
so No, and we just voted on our we did a vote to see who our cover artist was going to be for it, and the cover artist who is doing that is a guy named Luis Thomas, and Luis is an amazing artist, and he's done 2 covers for me, one on book 2, and he's got one on book 3. Y'all featured it on the thumbnail earlier. It was the picture of Grisha with all the tentacles and stuff. That's Luis's cover, and so he was my pick, and I said I'm going to do Luis, and they were all like, "Yeah." We were like, "All right, cool, Luis it is," because everybody had been thinking the same thing on their own, so it was nice.
Yeah, it was that was a good cover. I was as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's going on the promo."
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. And I mean, one of the things that I like about the covers we have this issue is every single one of them tells a different angle of the story. You know what I mean? Like, Luis has this kick-ass Jim Lee, and because Jay's got a lot of Jim Lee in his artwork. I mean, it's just so in there, and he's got this beautiful artwork, and of this villain, and I love it. And it tells that little bit of the story, and then you got Jay Ghosthauser, who did this more of a martial arts movie inspired poster like cover, which is in a cartoony style that I thought was really badass. And then Adam, who's been doing special edition covers for me since the beginning, we actually did color for him this time, and I got to be the one to color for him on that. So that was a lot of fun, and it's got the Mothman from the 2nd issue, if you remember him. What's his name? For crying out loud! Come on, Dan. I can't remember the damn character's name. Well, the Mothman, he's in that cover with Iris. And so that's pretty badass. And then I got to do what is probably the lamest of the covers in terms of like fire and intensity, but I did a rabbit. I did a rabbit with a Bigfoot in the background doing a kata. And more than any other reason, I wanted to tell a different side of this. I wanted to do a cover that wasn't just an action pose. You know what I mean? Which is so common. And I'm no bagging on that, because that's what my last issue's cover was an action pose, but I just wanted to show a different side of the story, because this story is so different from the others. Like we are seeing a different side of the character. We're seeing a softer side of the character where we're really learning, bits and pieces about this character, so you can formulate, who he is. And there's just, if you saw on the Kickstarter pre-launch page, there's a panel where he's holding the bunny up to his face, and it's just like this sweet little moment, and we just have those kinds of moments in this book. So yeah, there's action. I'm not going to tell you there's no action. There's totally action, but there's moments, man. Moments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So I think you have some questions, the hardest questions ever.
Yeah. So
Dan here.
So similar to the last time that you were on, we've got the follow-up questions that we do all the time.
Sure.
So just as a reminder for everybody out there, given that this was such a hard question for everybody anyways, and you're in Texas, so I mean you can have a real opinion on this.
Okay.
What is your favorite taco?
Oh. Ask me a harder question, okay? Okay.
You're in Texas, so you actually you can have a valid opinion on this.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the name of 2 places. Okay, One of them is in Houston, the other is here in Austin. Okay, here in Austin there is a place called Palo Seco. Okay, it is a food cart. It's not even a truck. I mean, it's literally like just a little food trailer. Okay. And it's right next to a Valero gas station. They don't even sell drinks. You have to go to the Valero gas station to buy your drinks. That's the deal that they have with the place. So you go over, you place your order, you go get your drink, and you come back and your food's basically ready. That place, Palo Seco, is known for their birria. Okay. And it is the best damn birria taco I've ever had in my fucking life. And I've tried them all. I'm like the producer in The Godfather. I've had them all over the world. The best piece of ass I ever had, No, but it's the best taco. I mean, really the best birria taco I've ever had. You can find them on Instagram, PALO SCCO Palo Seco. and check them out. They're open sporadically. I don't know why they close down as often as they do.
They may
But,
run out of food.
I don't think it's a board of health issue, honestly. I don't think it's a board of health issue.
No. Usually for small trucks like that, it's usually because they ran out of food.
Right. No, this is they've been shut down since November. So it's usually, yeah, but they usually, when they are open, when they're open until they run out is the deal. So it's that good. And the best consomme. I mean, just seriously, the best consomme to dip that birria into. Phenomenal. The other place, it's called the Taqueria del Sol. Okay, it's in Houston, Texas, on the Gulf Freeway, just south of the 610 loop at Broadway Park Place. Okay, and let me tell you, I've been eating at this restaurant since I was 10 years old. Okay, I was raised in Houston, and every time I go to Houston, I eat at this restaurant. I've been eating there since I was 10. It's a magical place. I want my ashes spread there. Okay, that's how in love with this joint I am. They have the best tapaqueña taco I think I've ever had, and also a damn good al pastor. I'm a big fan of al pastor tacos. So this place is incredible. But the capper is the queso. Okay, the chili con queso, because it's not that drippy Velveeta yellow shit. It's a Oaxaca queso with roasted poblanos, and there's little bits of onion and tomato and all of that. And you pick it, and it's the greatest cheese pull you've ever seen in your life because you're fighting the cheese. Yep. And there's two people with spoons trying to help you break that cheese up off of it. And somebody eventually just uses their fucking fingers and pulls it apart. And it is amazing, and it is beautiful. And we were on vacation recently, my wife and kids and I. We went on a cruise out of Galveston. And on the way home, we stopped at the Taqueria del Sol, and we had lunch on our way home. And it was that good. It was that good.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, the queso alone just did sense. So,
oh god, so Taqueria del Sol, check them out. Okay, if you're in the Texas area, make the drive. Go to Palo Seco. Go to Taqueria del Sol,
and go to Wet Stick. Make sure you guys go to Wet Stick.
Where's that?
Palo Seco.
Oh, that's what it means. Yes. Took me a second to get there. Yes. Okay.
It's funny because I talk about like how many words in that translate from Spanish to English are just like they just are weird in general.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like in California, we have a bunch of places, like it's always like it's very obvious that a white person named this. It's like that's a cool word. I'm gonna name my town after this, right? So like the biggest example that I give people is like I'm gonna call Madera. That sounds cool. I'm gonna call this place Madera. So you called it Wood?
Wood.
Or Tiburon. That's so cool. People don't. Okay, Shark is okay, but I mean that's basically all you did. You just called it Shark.
Shark City.
Not even Shark City. You just called it
Shark.
Same thing with Wood. Like, oh yeah, okay. This is people who think that Spanish words are cool, so that's fine. At least they like our culture.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you. You're on the West Coast, so what's your favorite taco?
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This gets hard, man, because in California, it gets really hard to find a single place. Because the majority of the places that you go to that have the best food are always going to be taco trucks, but not just that. Guarnachas, which are like, like little stands that people just pop-up stands that people just sell.
Oh yeah.
Those are always the best. Like I can't really go like, I can't really go like, oh yeah, this particular restaurant, because for the most part, I'll go find a stand and be like, nope, that's it right there.
But you ever go like I was in San Francisco, okay, and I had one of those little hot dogs on the the like Mexican style hot dog on the little stand.
What we're famous for at this point now, yeah.
Fucking A, man.
I was just gonna say, if there's any place that I if I have to name any place, right? It would be between in San Francisco, Pancho Villa, which is a famous place in the city. Famous for the Mission burrito that everybody is. That's what we're famous for. So Pancho Villa is a good place, and then Farolito is the place that we used to go to. That's your drunk place because they were open till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, when I was in Houston, like during college, if we went down there for like a party or something like that, there was this place called I'm gonna fuck up the name. La Hala. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I can't even pronounce the place. I always screwed it up back then, and I'm gonna wreck it now. So I'm not even gonna try. But they were open till 4 a.m. And it was just like, and you just go get kick-ass food late at night, and they always had good
Mhm.
music going, and would serve
Yeah.
you alcohol after hours. So it was a good joint. In fact, it's probably good. I can't remember their name, so I can't screw it up and screw them over. They're still serving after hours over there. Anyway, but good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump just right into this one right here. So who would win in a fight? Bigfoot with a long katana or Marvel Silver Samurai?
Oh, Bigfoot. Bigfoot. I just don't respect the Silver Samurai character for shit. So, like it's I've been into. So, yeah, let's just kill him.
He's
You
the
know.
fuck Silver Samurai, man. That guy's
Yeah, no, not into it. Yeah, no.
I mean, in fairness, Marvel's movies, didn't respect him either.
What sucks is that if you know the character, he's part of Big Hero 6, and obviously because Marvel was doing, or I guess Fox was doing the Wolverine at that time, they couldn't use him for Big Hero 6, and he's like a mainstay character for Big Hero 6. Like, I kind of want them, now that Marvel has it, I kind of want them to do another Big Hero 6 and like kind of do justice to Silver Samurai.
We'll have to get a new Wolverine though.
I was gonna say, he also makes sense for a character in that movie.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so you already told us what was next for you here, and we know you got a whole whole list of cons coming up.
Sure.
If you want to just kind of list off your upcoming cons again, kind of the couple ones that you have here.
Well, all right. So I'll go a little faster through the ones y'all already heard. So South Texas Comic Con next weekend in McAllen, Texas. Free Comic Book Day. I'll be at Austin Books and Comics doing signings and selling books there. That's May 3rd here in Austin. Dallas Fan Expo, May 30th through June 1st. Big Alpaca Comics in San Antonio. I'll be doing a signing there on June 14th. Then later in the summer, I have Greater Austin Comic Con, Eastern Rim Comic Con down in Baytown, Texas. Bedrock City Comic Con in Houston, and then going to be closing out with the Comics Art San Antonio in November. So got quite a few different things going on, and I hope to do some more store signings as well if possible. Those are always a good time. So I just got done doing one at Bedrock City Comics at their main store in Houston, which is cool. That place has 6 locations in that city. That's pretty amazing to have a comic book store have that many locations in one town. Yeah. They do. Richard, the guy who owns the place, he's super nice guy, super nice guy. Big shout out to Bedrock City Comics and also to Austin Books and Comics. Thanks for having me, guys. This for Free Comic Book Day. That's gonna be awesome. So.
I mean, as always, keep Austin weird. So there we go.
Oh, absolutely. We're trying desperately, but they keep tearing down everything that's weird in this place and putting up new condos. So it's a real pisser, honestly. I never complained about it ever until about 6 months ago, a year ago, we saw this T-shirt that had all the places that we knew that had been torn down. And it had just a list of all these places that just have been torn down over the years or post-COVID or, due to COVID and what all this stuff. And just all these amazing venues and restaurants and bars and just, it's all gone. It's all gone. And instead we just have, Chili's. So, and who the fuck is Chili's? Anyway,
Chili's.
Who wants to go to Chili's? So yeah, I mean, Austin's still a great town. I've lived here for 20 something years. I love it here, but shit changes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? It can't be, nothing ever stays the same. I know that upsets a lot of Austinites, but that's just the hard, cold fact of life, So yeah.
That kind of, I mean, I do understand that on the level for people from Austin, like, you're taking away part of the character of the town.
Yeah, I mean, they all moved here for that, and the places they moved to were places that they tore down so they could that they thought they were going to enjoy in the first place. You know, I mean, it's kind of a weird catch-22, but
You
you
start
know, it's
you
still
start corporatizing the town, and it's like, like Austin first and foremost is like, if you if you take the definition of punk and turn it into a town, it's fucking Austin.
it's Austin, it's Portland, it's one of those types of cities. You know what I mean? And Austin, yeah, punk rock back in the day here in Austin, like in the early 2000s. Oh, there was such a great punk rock scene too. It really was. There was this bar venue around the corner from my apartment off Riverside. It was called what the fuck was it called? The Back Room. Okay, I'd rather have Chili's over Whataburger. All right, fair. I won't argue with you. Whataburger ain't what it used to be. What was I going to say? The Back Room. This place was awesome. This place was one of those, punk rock metal bars that somebody was leaving bloody. You know what I mean? It was one of those places. They made a documentary about it actually not long ago that I still have not seen. But it was called I think it was called like Bloody and Bruised, the story of the Back Room. But somebody made a documentary of it. I'm dying to see it because I mean, just so many memories in that place. It was great. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it's Chicago here. Our best punk venues where one's like, you don't want to be in this neighborhood, but you're going to see the punk show.
Yeah, if you don't see it, you're going to deal with it. Yeah, Houston was like that too. There were some, shitty neighborhoods to go to see some good bands, but the dude abides. What are you going to do, right?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is awesome, man. Where can everybody find you? Social media, all of those places, websites, all that stuff.
All right, let's do it. So the best place to find me and the rest of the Homebrewed gang would definitely be homebrewedcomics.com. If you go to homebrewedcomics.com, there are links to all 3 of the campaigns available right there. So you can go check out and go hit the pre-launch button over there on all of those at homebrewedcomics.com. If you want more specific information about Bigfoot Knows Karate, go over to bigfootknowskarate.com. Can you believe it? I actually got that URL. I couldn't believe somebody snatched it up already. So anyway, go over there. You can check out information about the new campaign. You can go check out some of the fan art gallery over there. And, there's merch links and all sorts of stuff. Get t-shirts, whatever you want. If you want to find me on social media, best place to find me would be Instagram. Instagram, I am DanomyTE139. That's DANOMYTE 139. Or if you're on Facebook, just look up Bigfoot Knows Karate on Facebook. You will find yourself a Bigfoot Knows Karate group that I'm pretty active on. So there's about 450 of us over there. So come hang out. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, you can also, that's it. That's where I am.
Awesome. Well, Dan, we appreciate you coming on and talking about more Bigfoot hijinks.
Yes.
more Benny hijinks. I can't wait to read it, man, because it's such a good series.
Thank you.
And Sack Deadpool thought his question was better, by the way. Who would win, Bigfoot or Poe?
Poe, like from the Teletubbies?
From Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, never saw it. I'm still going with Bigfoot. So
exactly.
All the answers, I'm going to say Bigfoot. I'm sorry, but yeah. All right. But I will concede Whataburger is not what it used to be. All right, so we'll say that.
I tried Whataburger for the first time.
What'd you think?
It just tastes like a slightly better Burger King, man.
Yeah, I've had beef with Whataburger for a lot of years because I just never felt like the burger came out very warm in the first place. And the thing at Whataburger that's worth checking out is definitely their the number 21, which is their breakfast on a bun with sausage. That is a go-to for me over there. But if you are ever in Austin, I have to say there's a place here. The name, don't think the main name has anything to do with it. There's a place here called Dan's Hamburgers, and they've got about 3 or 4 locations in town. Best fast food burger in the city. So if you're ever in Austin, hit me up. I'll take you to Dan's, or we'll go to Palo Seco actually and get some birria because that's more exciting. So let me know.
I'm all for it, man. I'm
All right.
It's good for good,
Cool.
good food and good places.
Hell yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. We appreciate you coming on and
Yes.
talking with us. Now you're welcome to stay with us here. We're gonna get into some nerd brackets here. But if not, if you got to get going, we understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go spend a little time with the wife before it's time to go to bed. And but y'all have a great evening, fellas. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank
having
you,
me on
Dan.
tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely, it was our pleasure, man.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Have a good one.
All right.
That man, it's good. I'm really telling everybody that is listening in earshot. If you have not gotten a chance to check it out, if you're not currently subscribed, or if you haven't backed the Kickstarter, do it. Get that book, or go to BigfootKnowsKarate.com. You can pick up the first couple of issues. I know that the Kickstarter he's doing right now comes with all 3 books.
Nice.
But if you do go to BigfootKnowsKarate.com, again, it's not expensive. They're like $5 a book. They're not.
Yeah.
And they're definitely well worth the pickup. They're such a good book.
Oh, easily. And as you know, being part of the cryptid world myself, really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this book. I was excited when his name popped up on the screen, and I was like, he's coming back on. Yes.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Good feeling. So Phil, before we get in the bracket, I do have to mention, you remember the sign I sent you guys last week from the new taco place that said, "Tell me you're pretty and feed me a taco"?
Yeah.
So I did try. They did not have the al pastor.
Did they have adobada?
No, but they did have like why can't I think of it? I'm drawing like I had the chorizo taco.
Okay.
Just because I just didn't want chicken or steak. So no, did they have al pastor? They did have al pastor. They didn't have the steak. So I did have al pastor and chorizo, and they are fantastic. And it's the type of place that you can only get dozens of tamales on the weekends.
Dozens of tamales on the weekends.
Oh yeah, you can only buy like 2 or 3. You can't get a dozen until the weekends because they don't have enough until they do it the weekends, because tamales obviously take a long time.
It's also very much that is evidence that they are a home like operation.
Oh, I saw their kid come to work. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. It opened down the street, and my dad goes, "You want to try it?" I go, "Yeah, I do." Of course I do.
About as Mexican as it gets, right there.
Oh yeah. You know, some people in the town like, "Oh, another Mexican restaurant," or we can have an empty building. Yours are your 2 choices.
Anybody whose reaction is another Mexican restaurant should be shot on the spot.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those things that's just like, no.
Yeah, Mexican restaurants are the best.
Unless you're jalapenos.
Unless you're jalapenos, right? That's right. If you're a jalapeno, then you're fucked. But I mean,
oh no! Like I was driving Salem with one of our adventures. We went past jalapenos. He's like, "Is that place good?" I'm like, when their sign says, "Come try our margaritas," that's what they're known for, because the food is awful.
Oh, the restaurant's name is Jalapenos.
Yeah. It's probably the whitest people you could think of that own it.
I mean, that's like here in Sacramento. There's a place called Mas Tacos. And they make like fusion tacos, which is like, I mean, it's a cool concept, but they're not that great.
Jalapeno on a steak.
My name is Jose Jalapeno on a steak.
Yeah, all right. So you're ready to get into this highly debated video game system bracket?
I am ready for this.
Okay. Some of these gonna be easier because I threw as many systems as I could. So first up, we have the Xbox One.
Okay.
Versus the Neo Geo. Now, if for anyone who's going to ask, say along if you're still here, I'm counting the Neo Geo CD, I'm counting the Neo Geo AES, and the Neo Geo MVS systems for this.
So pretty much all the Neo Geos are being counted as one.
Because they all it's the same game library, yes. So I'm counting all as one.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially one is you take the $500 cartridge that's for the home and you put it in. Another one is you just take the arcade board itself. The other one's just CDs. So it's all the games. It's all the same game library.
Versus the
Xbox One.
Well, I was saying versus the console that normalized making consoles full-on entertainment systems rather than just gaming systems.
Yep.
The Xbox One was the one that kind of carried that concept.
It did.
And love it or hate it, pretty much all the consoles that exist now wouldn't exist in their current forms without it.
Xbox Ones, yes.
That's what I'm saying. The Xbox One.
Yeah.
If in the current form that they're in right now. So I'm not saying consoles in general. I'm saying, with them being full on entertainment systems and having like every bit of entertainment in one, like the all in one system. That's because of Xbox.
Yes.
Xbox One specifically.
I am actually going Neo Geo because it was the arcade at your house.
Yeah.
Xbox One, I have all exclusives that exist for Xbox One. All 9 of them.
Was Halo 2 was an exclusive on Xbox One, right?
Halo 2 was on 360.
That was 360, so it was Halo 3 then.
Halo 3 was on 360.
Which one came out on the one then? Was it ODST?
And Reach, yeah.
Okay. ODST was good. A lot of people didn't like that game. I liked it just because you weren't Master Chief and you kind of got into a different corner of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
that unstoppable monster that is Master Chief.
Yeah, he's very unstoppable. Yeah, essentially the exclusives were 2 Forza Motorsports, the Rare Replay, so Conker's Bad Fur Day Replay, one of the Halos, and that's pretty much it.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, the replay was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that was the one where they also brought in the online play one, and the whole game was just basically a riff on Call of Duty.
Oh yeah. I think like 7 Days to Die was exclusive on the one as well. But like I said, for me personally, having the entire Neo Geo arcade capable of playing at your house, not these shitty ports that we got, but like the actual arcade game, is what we always were waiting for with home arcade.
Right.
So, what are you going with?
Oh man, this is a hard call just because the Neo Geo was revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Xbox One, kind of all the points that I just made, it made kind of current generation consoles possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was funny, like everybody was like, "Why would you want to get like a gaming console to be your all-in-one?" And now that's like nobody can think of any concept outside of that.
I mean, you're not incorrect, except I don't use my consoles for anything other than video games. So,
I mean, I use my consoles for everything. Or I used to, at least. I like when they started building them like apps and everything like that into TVs,
smart TVs. Yep.
I started using that. But for the longest time, I would use that for everything.
Yeah.
I am missing pieces.
Uh-oh. Yeah, and maybe like I said, Neo Geo is winning for me. I know my Xbox One, the disk drive broke, and what you have to do to repair it is absurd. You have the motherboard inside the console.
Yeah.
But then you have a daughter board in the CD-ROM that it cannot be unpaired with. So you have to take that and unsolder that board to put it into a new one that you can buy so it will pair up.
I remember why they did that too, because they were trying to stop. They were trying to stop country coding.
Oh, it's DRM.
Yeah.
That's purely what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, the Xbox systems are the hardest ones to jailbreak.
Yeah,
they're not incorrect, but all right. So what are you going with, Phil?
Oh, man. Fuck, man. Well, if you think about it, 360 also had apps for Netflix and Hulu after a time.
It did. So did the Wii.
Because it was because of the software. I mean, pretty much Xbox has been using the same software, upgraded, but the same software since 360.
Yes, that's called the Microsoft way of updates.
Yeah. But it also just makes it easier when you do like port games. Like, yeah, okay, well, we can just update it for this code, but it's pretty much running off the same base. It's DOS all over again.
Oh, it is.
Fuck, man, this is a hard one. Because like intuition is saying go Xbox, but at the same time, the fucking Neo Geo, man, it's the Neo Geo.
It's the system that everyone wants with their 10-pound games.
Yeah, really though. So like I said, this is where it gets a little difficult for me because it's kind of hard for me to choose one or the other. Fuck. Like
you have other Xboxes on this list. There's only one Neo Geo.
I was gonna say this is one of those things where like I want to go one way, but then if I go that way, I betray myself. So I'm just like that's why like as soon as I go, I'm gonna go with no, I don't want to go with that. Fuck it, I'm going Neo Geo.
All right, Neo Geo is moving on.
Sweet.
Now here's your redemption. You ready? The OG Xbox versus the Sega Saturn.
OG Xbox. Sega Saturn's one of those consoles that you think back on and was like, oh man, the Sega Saturn. Then you really think about it, and the fucking Sega Saturn was garbage. There were good games on the Sega Saturn. Don't get me wrong.
Tons of good games.
Yeah, like fucking Virtual Fighter, Virtual Cop, which I played over and over again.
Yeah.
Fucking Panzer Dragon, which I think they need to bring back.
Oh, they definitely need to bring that back.
Yeah. Like there's so many different games that were like just great tentpole games. But generally the Sega Saturn was garbage. Like console wise, it's fucking sucked. But the Xbox, conceptually, and what's funny is every time I think of the OG Xbox, they need to do a remaster of Panzer Dragon. 100%.
Oh yeah.
The OG Xbox, the game that comes to mind every time is fucking Oddworld.
Yeah.
Because their marketing campaign was so heavy on Abe's Oddworld.
Yes.
And then Crash Bandicoot, of course. But I mean, like, I always associate the OG Xbox with that and Jet Set Radio Future.
Yes. I played the shit out of that game.
Which apparently Sega's bringing back.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
With all those remasters they're doing on, I think it's going to be every console, or it's just going to be the Switch. I don't recall.
Yeah, so I'm excited for Jet Set Radio Future to come back. Like, that's another reason why I want to buy the new console, but I can't afford it because fucking tariffs. But I mean, like,
no one could buy it in this country because of tariffs. Yeah. OG Xbox, I remember, like I said, I told the story before. When this came out, like I said, I got PlayStation 2 first. And then I realized that all the Sega franchises that they built up went to Xbox. So I then immediately went and got Xbox just for that. Yeah, we had Toe Jam and Earl 3 on Xbox.
No, that's right. Toe Jam and Earl, man.
Yeah. I love Panic at the Funkatron to no end. I remember getting that. I remember getting the WWF game that was Raw on the Xbox, because with the custom character creation, you're able to take a CD and import your own MP3s into that game because it had a hard drive.
I remember that too.
And so all my backyard wrestling stuff, as we were still backyard wrestling, all our characters were there with our theme music.
That's awesome.
Sega Saturn, first system I ever got modded for me, just because there was only one version that's able to be modded at that point in time. I still play it a lot. I just got the ODE for it, so I can do the optical disc drive with it. I have the wireless controller for it, but I also just did my Xbox as well. Because Xbox had Obi-Wan, the video game, and it was only in existence on the original Xbox. So,
what a game to bring back.
But yeah, I'm going to Xbox just because, for sure.
Obviously, the original Halo.
Yes. Oh yeah. Just hearing the men's choir in the bathroom recording. Yep. Exactly.
I can continue on. I will not. But
all right. So OG Xbox is moving up. All right. Now this one may be difficult for everyone here. The Sega Dreamcast versus the Apple II, and including the Apple IIe as well.
Okay.
So the OG Oregon Trail. Well, I grew up Number Munchers. Playing that on my stupid black and green screen.
God, I remember Number Munchers too.
Yeah. Just creatures go around eating numbers on the screen. A 6x6 screen, and trying to match numbers that equal with that equation.
Yes, I remember that fucking stupid game. Oh my god.
Yes, but the original Oregon Trail, loved it.
The OG fucking classroom games.
Yep.
From back in the day.
They also had the paper airplane simulator where you had to do different things to it to make it fly as farther as you could.
That's also where OG SimCity came from.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the Apple IIe.
Versus Dreamcast that did give us, Time Crisis and House of the Dead with a light gun.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Apple IIe is fun. 100% going for the fucking Dreamcast.
I agree.
Yeah, there's no contest on that one. I'm 100% going Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, I have a couple years ago. They came out with the original Oregon Trail on a portable Apple IIe handheld that you were able to buy at Target. I have that.
They came out with the remake on if you have the Apple gaming system, which is just basically like an add-on for your phone.
Mm-hmm.
There is an Oregon Trail that actually has decent graphics, and it's like they did they upgraded everything with 8-bit graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's at the same time, it's one of those games where it's intentional 8-bit. So it's not like, oh yeah, this is this is something they could have made back in the day. They just made an updated version of it. Almost it almost looks like the Scott Pilgrim game.
Okay.
But it's Oregon Trail. And the AI, I tried to play it. The AI is fucking ridiculous on it. It's really smart and actually pretty hard to play.
Huh.
It's actually challenging. And I think what they did is what they were trying to do was kind of like recreate the feeling that you had playing the old game, but with new challenges.
Right.
And the AI is, like I said, it's a lot smarter than it was.
Hmm.
So pretty cool. Either way, I'm going Dreamcast.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, can I go ahead and shoot 3 bears in the forest and able to carry one of them?
It does have like a loadout system, so like you can whatever you kill, you can carry
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff. Like it like I said, it was actually a really well done game.
Mm,
It's just one, it's an Apple exclusive, so you have to have an iPhone in order for it to work.
of course.
And it has to be the like the Apple version of Game Pass,
Mm,
which I tried for a little bit when I was a while back when I was like traveling for work. I was like, okay, because one of the advantages they gave you is that you could download the games onto your phone and you don't have to
be cloud connected.
they're not cloud connected. Also, there's no in-game purchasing because it's a paid service to begin with, so
Right.
they don't have any of those like stupid ass in-game purchases that like most games have. Which that's kind of what made it appealing, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, it's an okay game.
The real question is, the only reason I'd get an iPhone then is if they bring me the Apple Pippin games from the 90s on that crappy ass system that existed in the 90s that Apple did.
I know they've like recreated a bunch of games. They have a bunch of exclusives and stuff too. Like it's mostly for kids because they actually do have like Mario and Sonic exclusives.
Mm,
But it's like it's obviously meant for like kids, so
right.
and it's one of those things where it's like, it's a paid service and that way you don't have to worry about your kids, fucking Minecrafting or Fortniting it and just fucking spending billions of dollars on
Yep.
in-game shit because they don't realize that it actually costs money.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so they made it so that when you download the games, it comes with everything that you need.
Okay.
One of the games I did play, there's a side scroller. It's basically Mario but with SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a really fun game.
Huh.
The side scroller SpongeBob game.
Nice. Like I said, yeah, the Apple Pippin sold a whopping 42,000 consoles worldwide.
And
all right.
Rumor has it Apple's trying to come out with another console again because of the console wars.
Yeah. Yep. Just like the Google Stadia, right?
God, Google Stadia. What they really should do is learn their lesson from Google Stadia and realize that you're not going to make money on this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, might be the toughest one of tonight. The Atari Jaguar.
Ooh.
Versus the Super Nintendo.
Oh. Okay, I don't want to betray the Atari Jaguar, as good of a console as that was.
Mm-hmm.
But the Super Nintendo, I just have way too many good memories with that.
Yeah. The Jaguar has like 3 good games. And I think in 1991 there was 7 good games on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like ultimately, the Super Nintendo ended up becoming kind of like and defining an entire era of gaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The SNES, the controller layout was easy to deal with. I mean, you're not wrong, but my one defense of the Atari Jaguar controller is it was a continuation of the Atari controllers they had in the 80s. They had number pads, and so did the Atari Jaguar. So they actually upgraded their controllers with their system too. But yes, Super Nintendo all day long. It's one of those things that, like, when I bought my first console when I was my parents let me use my own money, which was nice of them. Um, that I was going to go buy a Super Nintendo, and the guy in Columbus, Ohio, at Fry's Electronics, in 1995. If you're listening, you said, "Don't buy the Super Nintendo because there's new Nintendo console coming out. Buy the Sega Genesis."
Oh shit!
And I did buy the Sega Genesis. I was the Sega kid in the entire neighborhood. Everyone else had Super Nintendos.
And then the game changed when the N64 came out. But I mean, like,
Right. So, but Funko Land existed, so I bought Super Nintendo late 90s. But yeah, Super Nintendo all the way, easily.
yeah.
Easily. All right. This next one's gonna be difficult as well. You have to get some of these systems out of the way here. Unfortunately, the TurboGrafx 16, aka the PC Engine, with the super attachment for the CDs and stuff like that. So Bonk's Adventure, the original Splatterhouse, versus Gabe Newell and his Steam.
Wow, you gave Gabe Newell his own fucking category.
It's a PC/Steam.
Okay,
So
which one? Which one has a more lasting impact on gaming? Which one's still around now?
I mean, I did buy my HDMI TurboGrafx seat from Analog just last year.
But I mean, like, which one is which one's the system that is basically like at this point they call it God tier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just the PC, man.
Oh yeah.
like there's no question over who wins this one. It is fucking Steam, dude.
Oh yeah.
Steam has the biggest impact on gaming in general.
Yes. I like that Nintendo is trying to compete with the Steam Deck instead of PlayStation and Microsoft.
That's the thing. What's crazy is everybody when the Steam Deck came out, everybody was like, "We need to find something to counter the Steam Deck," and nobody came out with a good version of it. Like Nvidia came out with one, and it was kind of trash.
Oh yeah, that's Nvidia's motto.
Yeah, just we're gonna put out a subpar system.
Yep.
I know Sony came out with something that like died within like a week. As soon as Steam Deck was announced, like Sony came out with something, and it just died. Like nobody knew what the fuck happened to it.
Yeah, So PlayStation, the Vita was fantastic. The PSP was fantastic. Let you use a controller with a screen on to play your PlayStation 5 from a separate room, as long as you're on the same internet connection. Garbage.
Yeah,
garbage. I don't have one, and that's saying something from a guy who literally is staring at all of them that exist. I don't have that because it is not a way for me to play different titles.
Yeah. It's funny because Microsoft went like a whole different route rather than coming out with their own console, or like their own competition. They were like, "Hey, yeah, no, you can you just go ahead and take Game Pass and just put it on the Steam Deck."
Yeah, well, I mean,
genius on their part was rather than making it competition, let's just put our fucking live service on here and just let people do it.
Yeah, they essentially said everything's an Xbox. Your microwave's an Xbox. Your mom's vibrator's an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox.
I did try that for a little bit because that was one of the features I tried immediately with the Xbox Series X. As soon as I got it, was trying to do remote play.
Yep,
it actually works really well. I played Destiny on it and it was fine. The issue is I don't have anything with the screen big enough to actually like viably do that. So when I was trying to play on my phone, it was just fucking stupid.
Yep.
But if I had an iPad, like say if I had an iPad Pro, it'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like I had the Steam Deck that was a stream that would let you remote play your Steam games on a TV somewhere else with a controller. That worked, and I didn't want to go down 12 stairs in my basement. But like my wife's going, hey, you can spend time with the kids. All right, I'll just play my video games upstairs instead.
Yeah, like I feel like that like that's the route I would go if I had like I said like an iPad Pro that has like a processor fast enough to kind of like run all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the remote play is actually fairly good as long as you leave your X, like you have to turn it on to always on.
Yeah.
Just because it has to update itself in order for it to work, and
Mm-hmm.
it, like I said, it worked out well. I did that for a while when I was trying to stream at first, because like I was trying to see if I could find a way to stream without having to go get a capture card.
Right.
And it actually worked because Twitch is also integrated into it.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool because then you can just hit a button that says go live and it automatically goes live. And it was just like, okay, well, this is a good way to do this. And then I got a capture card and forgot all about it.
That's fair. All right. So no one else voted with us in chat. So Steam is moving forward. All right.
Anybody else voted?
No.
What?
No.
The fuck you at, people?
Well, the last one.
Because it's 8 o'clock. Okay, I got
exactly. We'll do one more.
All right.
It should be really fast. The CDI with the fantastic Mario Hotel and Legend of Zelda games versus this Nintendo Switch.
The CDI. Is that the one that had fucking the excuse me, princess?
Sure did.
Oh my god. That's the Panasonic one, right?
Yes.
Fuck me.
You're not a fan of either. Ooh.
I'm going Switch.
What? Yeah.
What? Yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fair. It's fair. Like I said, I may, since I have the CDI and with your remote controller, which is just awful because remember trying to play video games with a remote control on your DVD player? That's what it is. So, but Sandra says she's walking around Home Depot looking for Jeff. That's fair. But yeah,
It's like I lost my husband and we're at Home Depot and he's a welder.
that's pretty bad to lose him there. He'll come up with everything. No, the Switch, it was the win that Nintendo needed after the Wii U.
Oh my god, yes.
The
Wii U was so bad.
And you know what I'm actually envisioning is going to happen with Switch 2 is because the same thing the Wii U did. It's the same exact business model, except they have a chat button.
Yeah, they just it's like most things in the world. It's most like corporate shit in the world. They just don't learn their lessons.
No, and that's the problem. It's like, hey, we're finally to PlayStation 4 style stuff. Cool. Am I gonna get it? Of course. But
the whole thing, the problem with them is they fall in this category of innovation versus playing catch up. And it's kind of like, they focused, like on their last console generation, they focused 100% on innovation. They said, okay, we're going to do things that nobody else is doing. We're not going to focus on graphics as much because we're going to focus on the gameplay. We're going to focus on how fun the console is, which was a smart move to make.
yes.
But then, then they start getting into this whole thing of, well, okay, now we're so far behind, we need to play catch up, and it's like it's almost like a mid console generation rather than being a new generation of product.
Oh yeah. It's essentially they shot themselves in the foot with the whole PlayStation fiasco they did. That said we didn't want to do CDs, therefore we'll create our biggest competitor of all time.
Yeah. The other thing is where I see kind of like a need for this, because kind of on the back end they did make this big deal with Microsoft, and they kind of need a new generation of console in order to facilitate with putting Game Pass on their consoles, because you can't really put Game Pass on their current generation.
Oh yeah, it's 8 years old at this point in time.
Yeah, and that's like, I think their test was when they put Call of Duty on the Switch. And that was kind of like, okay, well, we had to scale everything down in order to just play Call of Duty on this. And I think a lot of people, like when they released Call of Duty, it was Call of Duty the last Call of Duty. When they
That's an interesting title, Call of Duty: The Last Call of Duty.
Yeah. I think it was Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
They released it for the Wii, or not for the Wii, for the Switch. But they had to like severely downgrade the graphics.
Yeah.
I think that like turned a lot of people off to it. So then people were just like, okay, well, we're not doing this. And I think that Nintendo wants some of that. They want some of that market share.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of like where they're like, okay, well, if we do just something that's doing like a graphics upgrade, but then also, upgrading the screen and upgrading all these small little, or at least things that they find small, then that kind of gives them more ground that they can cover. Now the thing is it the right move to make for them? It's only time's going to tell at this point.
Yeah, it's essentially the way I view the Switch now is it's just a handheld. It's the continuation of the Game Boys. Is now the Switch.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So, am I ever going to do heavy graphic intensive stuff on the Switch too? No. I will still be buying my main titles that can be bought elsewhere.
What is interesting with that, with what they're doing on that whole end, is, I mean, they are getting their own Dark Souls game.
Except it's multiplayer only.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the whole thing, is that's whatever deal that they worked out with From. People have been waiting for that, for the multiplayer for Dark Souls, for Elder Scrolls. Not Elder Scrolls. Fuck.
It's Dark Souls.
Is it Dark Souls? Yeah, it's Dark Souls.
Yeah.
People have been waiting for the multiplayer for that for a while, and they've kind of been thinking that it was going to be just an add-on. Like, okay, yeah, this is going to be an add-on that we can get for the consoles, and then they worked out an exclusivity deal for the Switch 2, and it's like, okay, well, that's going to both piss people off, but then also going to drive people to the console. So I mean, it is both. It's a risk. It's a gamble.
Yeah, as soon as they said it's multiplayer only, I go, nope.
I'm not interested in a Dark Souls game that's multiplayer, right? But
no.
There is an entire market for it, though. There are people who have been literally clamoring for it.
All that's going to do is create the gray market where the people pay people to play it for them because everyone else are assholes online. It was going to destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, Dark Souls games, I'm already not a huge fan of them because of like the extreme difficulty that they have. Just because, like, I don't want a game that, like, I want a game that is challenging but doesn't make me want to rip my hair out.
Exactly.
Right. Which is what I don't like about Dark Souls games. I actually, one of my buddies from the army, that's what he loves about it. Is he loves games that frustrate him to the point that he wants to fucking, go and punch a baby in the face.
I grew up with the NES era. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, because those games are coming from the same vein as like fucking Battletoads.
Yeah. But what you do is, and Salem I discuss this all the time, is you can have that mode exist,
Which most games do. Most games have that mode where it's like,
but make it only that mode is stupid. If I don't want that high level difficulty, then don't have it. Make God tier for the same thing.
yeah. What's God, there was another game. I think it was something Wukong.
Yeah. Black Wukong.
Black Wukong. Like, I
Yep.
mean, it got Game of the Year, but I mean, like, a lot of people were really upset about that game because it was like Souls level hard.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we should be wrapping up. We should have been wrapping up, but
Yeah. We're doing good, 8-bit man. I want to give you a shout out. I appreciate you hanging out with me on Monday for the game stream.
oh yeah, 8-bit's awesome.
Yeah, he popped in on the game stream as I was jumping in on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, dude, is such a fucking good game.
Looks great.
It
Looks
is.
great.
Like, the graphics are fucking amazing, but not just that. Like, the gameplay is really good. The fight mechanics are fun. I finally got to the point where I can be Yasuke now.
Mm-hmm.
And Yasuke, it's kind of a trip. You go into a fight. So like you go into a fight with Nawe and you have to be like smart about the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, I've got to like, you have to be good with timing. You've got to be good with like, parrying and blocking and all this other stuff. Dude, Yasuke, you can just run into a room and just fucking kill everybody with one swipe. He's so sick. I was like, oh, okay, this is why they waited so long for you to get him. And he's also he's at the point where you pick him up. He's also a Ronin, so it's just kind of dope, dude. Like it's
Nice.
It's a really really good story.
Awesome.
Way that they're doing things. But yeah, let me give everybody progress. So I'm only on bag 2 as of right now, but you can see kind of like these bags are big.
Yeah, they are.
This thing is just the framework. I've got like most of the cockpit ready here, done.
Yeah, nice.
All right, and then you can see on the inside, it's got like the whole loiter mode and everything
Nice.
there. Working on the back piece on the tail right here, so then that way you can start adding the tires to it and everything. It's pretty cool. I forgot how cool of a build this was. And
It's good though.
Obviously, I've been too lazy to actually separate my pieces, so I've just that's why it's longer. But still a fun build. So yeah, let me switch this up real quick here and remove that. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, oh, you know what?
What?
It'd probably be a better idea if I went back over there. All right, hold on.
All right, everyone, watch Phil scoot. Scoot, Phil, scoot.
I'm gonna scoot. Feels good, dude. You can too. This is the most exciting part of the show.
It is. It
It's
used to be Phil trying to run over wires and get to
that's
the
actually,
soundboard.
that's actually what it is. I'm like trying not to run over wires right now because the wires are just kind of hanging over the side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, this is going underneath my chair, so let me just not do that. All right, we are here. It's just mainly because I need to get to the soundboard because Graveyard, tell everybody where they can find you. Give everybody your pluggable, sir.
Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly podcast.
They mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
And I just realized I forgot to schedule the podcast release tonight.
I was just gonna pull it up right now. I was like,
Oopsies.
not put an episode out.
Oopsies. That'll be happening after this show. That's why I'm putting that out. So make sure to go check that out and follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. Check out Conversations in the Void, where we have great fun with people. We're approaching episode 100 here relatively soon. And for anyone who wants to check that out, we will be doing something that's not horror related, but a lightsaber giveaway for a 100th episode.
Nice.
It'll be the Graveyard. So make sure to check us out on YouTube and share it out because we want people there to subscribe and do all the fun stuff that we want to do. So check it out and follow me. Tomorrow is my last weekday game streams.
Oh
Probably
no!
forever because I start the job Monday. So I'll be back to my normal schedule for game streams over on Twitch at Graveyard Pilot Night, back to retro horror, new horror, and then casual gaming on Saturday as I'll be playing Donkey Kong 64 some more and some more Mario Maker as well. So go check it out.
Yeah, my game streams are going to be moving to Saturday pretty soon too.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me hit this button. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy Young Phil, Distance Nerding, all of the fun things that we do. Of course, if you want to connect with us on all those social media places, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's never going to be X. I'm still not calling it X. Honestly, I still don't know why we have a Twitter. We should probably just get rid of it. But I mean, like TikTok, honestly, we don't have any traffic on it. We don't have much of a fan base on it, and it's almost like it's pointless.
Hey, I'm okay with Nazis not being fans of us.
It exists only to aggravate me every time I open it. Which TikTok has started to become that. But I mean, speaking of TikTok, Twitch, TikTok, and I'm not aggravated with TikTok because of the videos that I get. It's because of people essentially telling, talking truth. And me getting pissed about the truth. So it's just like, fuck, the reality of our world is fucking fucked, man. Threads, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities. Yes, we're still there. Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and Mandels, the beard, John Mez's glasses, sitting on a table, judging you for everything that you say and do and for not buying all the merch. And of course, everything she do will do for money, which is not very much that you won't do for money. So do that. It's all at Distance Nerding. Of course, if you like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of everybody from Gamergate that we really don't want to exist at all.
Yeah.
I came up with that because I was like, okay, who is somebody who is angry on the internet? What were the themes we talked about? Gaming consoles, okay. And again, Twitter.
Yep.
The angry incels on Twitter. So just have the internet spit us out in front of the fanboys on Twitter that should just disappear on honestly.
You didn't spit us out right.
Yeah. Do me a favor, guys. All of those fanboys, can you just go back in the shadows? Just go back in the shadows and never come back out again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you can hang out if you learn to not be a douchebag.
So never. Okay, got it.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you learn and figure out how not to be a douchebag, you can come and hang out with everybody. Other than that, of course, you can email us at distancenerding@aol.com and we will read it on air. So that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for what we have considering the dance party, or what we're going to consider the dance party. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. Thanks, and keep nerding together. We'll see everybody.
Doesn't someone need to go to bed?
Oh, that's right, Bruce. It's time to go to bed, buddy. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. You gotta go to bed, buddy. We love you, but it's night time. All right. Well, that's it from us. It is time for the dance party. Let's get this going.
Oh man, it's the Punisher.
Distance.
He likes to kill people in the street.
If you have not watched the latest episode of the season finale of Daredevil, go watch it.
Yeah.
This was fucking brutal.
Oh yeah.
kind of called that he was going to be super brutal up.
Oh yeah, he knows to go for the trigger finger.
Oh yeah. But I called it. I told everybody when everybody said that. Oh yeah, no, that's the only scene we're gonna get. Like no, he's gonna come back and he's gonna kill a lot of people.
Oh, of course. He likes to kill. What can you say?
He does. See everybody next week.
Bye.